Alright guys, Andy here and welcome to Minecraft version of Bit City. Bit City is sweeping the world on phones, a brilliant little game. I'm on level 3 but I've prestige to go back to level 1 to show you what you start with in this game. You build little houses like this and there's residential, there's commercial and industrial. And you start off really simple and basic and you build up and the houses get better and better, but they look really kind of blocky and Minecrafty, so it lends itself to Minecraft. And in today's episode we're going to be building the Townhall, one of the first buildings you start off with in the game. I love this. It's available for iOS, it's available for Android as well, so check it out, download it, get playing it on your phone. It is brilliant. Anyway, let's get on with today's tutorial. It's going to be the Townhall. First things first, lay out a 32 by 32 plot. I've marked it out in yellow here, and if you want you can put some roads around it as well. Then in the bottom corner I'm turning it into polished andesite, or polished andesite I should call it its proper name. A little 7 by 5 area in the bottom right of your 32 by 32 square. Got some sandstone here. I'm going to make a little 4 by 4 bit of sandstone, and then I'm going to build that up 3 blocks high. I'm actually going to end up making it 4 blocks high, but it's a little bit later on when I realise my super duper mistake. What a mistake to make. Anyway, got some little grey terracotta here. I think it looks kind of pink, but I think that's pretty much grey terracotta. If it isn't, I do apologise. And we're going to call it that. Add on 6 blocks of sandstone on top. You'll notice I haven't got shaders on. I want to make this super clear and easy to follow, and I'm placing the blocks in real time. It hasn't been speeded up, so it should be all doable and followable. Get yourself some quartz as well. Add a couple more bits of andesite right there, polished andesite, a couple of bits of quartz. And then bring the quartz around here. And this is going to form the steps at the front of the build. Oh, and I'm just going to run this line of andyisyoda, polished andesite I should call it, all the way along the front like that. And then I'm going to grab some more quartz, and I'm not even going to bother counting that really. Well, actually I am going to count this because I want another 7 blocks right there. That's how many? That's 5. I need to make it, did I make it 6? Should have been 7. It'll get sorted out anyway, don't worry about that side of it. I'm going to build the right hand side, and then I'm going to copy and paste it over to build the left hand side. So if you're doing this by hand, you will need to just build it all yourself. I'm going to do the right hand side. And then the left hand side is exactly the same, but just a mirror image. Bring these little bits of white quartz round like that, and that starts to form step number 2 at the front of this little town hall. By the way, I'm absolutely addicted to this game. I really love it. I don't play games much on my phone, but I really like this one, principally because the builds just look all kind of Minecrafty. Anyway, I am marking in the middle of the build with this yellow. So that's as far as I need to go. I don't need to go any further than the yellow because that's going to be the absolute center of this build. So anyway, so there's the third step. And then we can make another row of quartz at the back and then just seal the deal, and that's going to be kind of the platform of the upper level of this town hall. By the way, I'm not doing the inside of this town hall. You can leave it blank, you can put in some black wool or something on the inside, but I'm not going to be doing the inside. Just principally because it's a Bit City build, it's just going to be looking just like the Bit City ones. This is a probably pretty complicated one. You hopefully can see exactly what I'm doing there. I'm going to form the columns. So we've got sandstone and then the grey terracotta and then more sandstone up like that. In fact, I've remembered it's light grey terracotta. That's what it is, light grey terracotta. So you've got sandstone, light grey terracotta, and then 6 more sandstone blocks on top. And that starts to form the columns of this little town hall. Okay, bring sandstone up to this kind of level here. Copy along if you're doing this, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks, 4 blocks more of sandstone, and this is going to make a little window area at the very front. So that comes up. Then you've got, I think, another column of sandstone coming up right about here. There we go. And grab yourself some quartz stairs, I think, eventually. Or just before we get to the quartz stairs, I'm going to repair this little bit. This was this mistake I made at the start of the video. I just want this whole kind of column section here to be 1 bit higher. So the light grey terracotta needs to get bumped up by 1 as well. There we go. Yoda's got his thinking cap on and he's done it properly this time. See, I blame all the mistakes on Yoda, and anything that looks good, well, Andy built that, obviously. Strange split personality. Here we go. So we've got quartz stairs like that. So the right way up underneath the window, and then the right way up above the window. And I've used, I think, just simple blue stained glass for the window. Surround that with sandstone, and you are good to go. More upside down quartz on top, and surround the whole thing with more sandstone. Sandstone was the closest block I could get to looking exactly like it. It's a nice flexible block as well, and if you wanted you could put more detail in with stairs and, you know, chiseled quartz as well. Chiseled sandstone, I should say. Bring the column up to match the height of the window, and bring these columns up in height as well. No, just adding one more block on, and then it's light grey terracotta. Maybe you can find colours that match the game a bit better than me. I don't know. This is what I chose. Maybe you could find ones that match the game a bit better. And hopefully you download the game onto your phone. It's really good fun. I normally don't like playing games on my phone, as I said before, but this one's been absolutely super addictive. I just love looking at all the little buildings. And as you get through the levels, I'm on level 3, or I was until I prestiged. I have to go back now and do it all again, but I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, as you progress, you get bigger and bigger and better buildings. Anyway, build up the sandstone wall like that. Add a couple more blocks on top of the columns, and we are doing pretty well. Let's just shift the whole camera around a little section here. All right, I think this block here, these blocks are a little bit of a mistake. So hold your horses here. Let me just kind of figure out what I'm... Yeah, these blocks here... Ignore these 10 seconds, please. These are a slight mistake. Let little Yoda work it out. Blaming it on Yoda again. Blaming it on Yoda. Here we go. Take him out, take him out, take him out, take him out. Okay, I was just teasing. Okay. Don't really want to do that. We want to do that just one block higher up. So hopefully that's giving people time to catch up anyway. There we go, and then just spam that round like that. Really nice designs, really nice simple designs. If you're building your own little city, why not build it along with me, block by block, building by building, City Hall to start with. And if you're playing the game, which build would you like me to build next out of the city? Something simple maybe, a little house would be good. So bring this quartz round, and this forms the kind of the fancy front part of the build. Jumping the camera back again, I'm just going to bring that wall up and then bring this round as well, like that, in a little kind of a ledgy roof there. Simple sandstone roof. Now I'm going to do the door, which is just spruce wood, I think, or dark oak, I can't remember which. About 4 or 5 blocks high, I think probably 5 blocks high. Little columns in there, can you just see them? Just see them, just finish off your little columns. Like that. We'll move the camera around to over here. Okay, just bring the sandstone round like that. That's pretty cool. And then we're going to add a couple of blocks just there, as if the column kind of comes through. And then we'll just add those two on and bring it right across like that. Only placing the blocks that we need to. You can save time by not having to worry about the inside of this build, which is what I like about this. A lot of these tutorials should be really simple. I don't know why I started with a complicated city hall. Mind you, some of the big skyscrapers and stuff are pretty cool. Bring the quartz round and then add a couple of light grey terracotta blocks just in there. Hopefully that's doable and seeable. Next, grab some blue wool, dark blue wool, and going to form a little 3x2, 3x2, and these 3x2s are stepping up. So 3 blocks, 2 wide, so I'm calling it 3x2. Kind of makes sense, right? And then another one on, so we've got a 4th 3x2 right there, and this is forming kind of the little roof of the little town hall. Kind of reminds me of the town hall in Back to the Future as well. Just got to fill in these little gaps and details here. So you can see I've got sandstone with one light grey terracotta right there. And I've got those 2 blocks of terracotta in slightly the wrong place. I'm going to move those 2 exactly down. And then 2 up. And then we've got a little bit of white quartz there. Cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. Bit by bit, block by block, we are building this little town hall. You can see one I've built over there in the background. Now I'm just kind of really splitting this build religiously in half here, just to make sure I'm only doing exactly half of the build at a time. I'm going to kind of copy and paste across. Fill in the blue at the back there, just as a kind of a finishing little detail. Cool. Okay, I have copied and pasted it across to the other side, and that's what it should look like, exactly the same on both sides. Now we're ready for the right hand side, so bring the sandstone all the way along until the end, apart from the last 3 blocks of your 32 by 32 square should be polished andesite. Now I'm going to make another 4 by 4 little sandstone cube, 4 high as well, so it really is a 4 by 4 by 4 cube of sandstone. Light grey terracotta, and then we're going to add more sandstone. 8 blocks, I think. It doesn't really matter how many blocks, we'll kind of figure it out as we go along. Once we put the windows in, we kind of see how high we need to make that. So just put on 8 or 9 blocks just now. Bring up your sandstone here at the front, or the side, the front of the side. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to form a little ledge. Yoda's a little ledge, isn't he? A little 3 by whatever it is ledge, like that. And then a little back frame goes along here, and this is going to form the base of the window section. So we're going to mark in where the windows are going to be. I'm going to add 2 blocks there, miss out 2, that's for the window, and then add on another little column, a little 4 by 4 little column there. And you can see the gaps for the windows. It's pretty straightforward. More light grey terracotta here, just that little line, and then we can come up again with another 8 or 9 blocks on top. Really doesn't matter how many. 1, 2, 3. I can't count. It's too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I count? Can I count? Put some little borders on the side here, just the borders of the windows really, and into your inventory you can make sure you've got some quartz stairs and blue stained glass again. Good, now it's time for the windies. Windows are too high, with a gap of 1 between the bits of quartz stair. Bottom of the windows, got quartz stair the right way up. Top of the windows, quartz stair upside down. You don't have to do the windows like that, you could change that design if you don't like that at all. And then in the panes go. Blue stained panes. Cool. We're getting there, we're getting there. Add another layer of sandstone on top. And then we can bring that round. Bring that all the way round. And then this is where I go a bit crazy and make it way too big. What dafty. What a purely dafty. Watch. Blaming this one on Yoda, that's for sure. It just wraps around the column. Come on, you haven't quite got it right. Think about it, think about it. There you go. Cool, and it's going to wrap around that column as well. We'll just move the camera a little bit higher here, and then we can see exactly what to do next. Just bring that up. I'm going to bring this right across as well. Bring it down to the column, and bring it across again, and then down to the column like that. And we have a look behind. We've got a few gaps to fill in. So you should be able to bring the sandstone right across like that. That forms kind of a little recess back there, and then we can go and just top that off with a little bit of roofage. The blue wool wraps around as well. That bit was quite quick. You may have to replay that a few times. That was quite quick, I do admit. The rest of this I think is pretty doable, hopefully. Okay, so what I'm doing is just copying and pasting that to the other side, because that's actually, believe it or not, that is that side done. So all you got to do is do exactly the same but opposite way around on the other side. So we'll just paste that in right now. There we go. And that gives you a nice good look at it from that side as well. Okay, so now we're ready for the back of the build. And what you can see, I've just added a little bit more of polished andesite. Nice and easy to count, so I don't have to tell you what to do. And then that little section of stair. I'm only going to do the left hand side, and I'm going to copy and paste over for the right hand side. So if you're doing this by hand, you just need to make sure what you do on the left is duplicated on the right hand side as well. So there's the stairs. Pretty easy to look at. Don't really need anything to count there. Just look at the screen and count the blocks. And you can see, I think I made the door about 5 blocks high. Yeah, it looks like 5 blocks high for sure. One line of sandstone there, and we can start to mark in where the windows go. So 3 blocks, a gap of 2, and then I think 5 blocks, and that marks in exactly where the window should go. All the sandstone can just get spammed up the way. And we can put the window in as well, nice double window as well. If you build it, send me pictures on Instagram or Twitter. It's all at andyisyoda. I would love to know. And do you play Bit City? Let me know if you play it and what level you're on. And what sort of amazing buildings get unlocked at the later levels as well. So here we go. A little bit of blue stained glass in there. And I'm going to add a window above the door as well. To be honest, the backside of this build is one of the few builds in the game which you can't actually see. So this backside, I've had to make it up myself. So, yeah, it's pretty annoying when you have to make up your own backside. But make up my own backside, I've done. Build up the column pretty high as the block just above the window. This little section here, a little bit confusing. This one you'll probably have to play back a couple of times to get this right as well. Okay, hopefully you can see where that wraps round. Pretty straightforward. And then bring it towards the column and then add one more block on top of the column. A little block in the corner. And wrap some quartz round. We're going to form a little kind of fancy bit at the back of this build like we did at the front. Not exactly the same, but pretty close. Column comes through again, and then we can just seal the deal over there at the back. It's all pretty straightforward, all pretty logical. Hopefully that's all doable as well. And those blocks just come across like that. Wrap this quartz round. And then the blue wool can extend as well, and that means we can start to build up the blue wool into another little kind of peaky roofy bit at the back as well. So we've got 2x2s this time, and we've got 2 of them so far. I think we'll go for 3 2x2s. Yeah, and that leaves one more 2x2, which will be on the middle. Doing obviously just half of it at a time. Let's swing the camera around, and we can run over to the other build and have a look. Check what I'm doing there. I'm running back. I'm going, oh, what have I done? What have I done? Is it right? Is it right? It is right. It is right. Yoda was thinking for once. Add some more quartz. Add some more wool. And a line of quartz like that kind of makes sense. And one more block of wool, and it just seals the deal in like that. There we go. Cool. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate that left-hand side over to be a right-hand side as you look from the back of the build. So what little Yoda do is copying and pastings. There we go. And as you can see, we've got a few gaps. We've got a few gaps at the back, and we're just going to seal those in. Pretty easy, actually, this bit here. Just going to... we can add a few more blocks of wool as well, like that, just to seal up the back so it looks good. If you're on the roof, that is, I suppose. Yeah, so back to these gaps here, really straightforward. We'll just bring sandstone across there. And that can just become a little kind of a ceiling there. And then we've got some little gaps here to seal in. The camera's just kind of losing it, but it's just along there, pretty much going right across in one kind of big line like that. I have left off some blocks in between my windows, so I do apologize for that. There's a couple of little blocks I need to tidy up, and I'll do that in just a couple of seconds. And we can take a little spin. Yeah, there's a couple of blocks at the back there which I haven't quite done right, but we'll pick those up at the very end of the build. The roof is just simply blue wool with a lining on top of quartz, and then we're going to add in a little skylight. So find the middle of your build, grab some glass, and then I think it's green terracotta, I'm not sure, just whatever green suits you. I think it's 6 blocks wide. As you can see, I've marked in it's 5 bits of glass from the front of the build, and then pierce that little hole, and that's going to let some light in for a skylight. Grey concrete, I believe, and this is the kind of shape you want, a kind of a 3 little gaps like that, 3 1x2 gaps, and you can just put in some glass in them, and that's a very simple little skylight. And the very last blocks are just a couple of, I don't know, dark grey terracotta or whatever you want to represent some little chimneys or vents on the back. And there we go. We shall swing round the build. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to put on shaders here and just tick off those last couple of blocks at the back. Let me know if you played the game. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Don't be shy. Smash that like button. Leave some nice feedback in the comments and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those little blocks tidied up there. So with shaders on, it looks pretty cool. And I've loved this. I love the game. Do check it out. iOS and Android. Bit City is its name. Go and have fun and tell me what I should build next. Ciao, ciao. May the blocks be with you.